So, I'm just gonna give my opinion on Black Ops 4 because it's so fucking annoying that I feel like it needs to be done. It's just something I haven't done before, so I'm gonna show you what my past is on the Call of Duty franchise as a whole. I don't hate it, I don't like it. It's dependent on the game, really. So, Modern Warfare 2 is my favourite one. I don't particularly like Modern Warfare 3, but I can see why people like it. World at War, I really like. Don't like World War 2 at all. MWR was a fucking terrible part and just completely shat on what Call of Duty 4 was in my opinion. So I can't stand that one either. Do like Call of Duty 4, I would say it's probably my second favourite. Quite like Black Ops, not particularly good at the multiplayer, but I do like it. Zombies was really good. Black Ops 2 I didn't like. I know that's an opinion not many people have at all, but I just didn't like it. It was too much of an SMG spam fest, and didn't like the campaign particularly either, and the zombies wasn't particularly impressive outside of Call of the Dead, or whatever it was called, Mob of the Dead. Ghosts was a weird one because it was actually pretty good in terms of its gunplay and its weapon balance, but the maps were fucking terrible, and the score streaks were just fucking boring, which just brought the whole game down. But I still actually quite enjoy playing Ghosts just because the gunplay is a lot better than quite a few Call of Duties. Infinite Warfare, I fucking love, actually. I know it's definitely an opinion no one has, but that's 1,100 hours. I like all three aspects of it, the campaign, the zombies, and the multiplayer. I think the multiplayer is probably one of the best they've done in many years. I would go as far as to say it's probably my second favourite COD. Black Ops 4, on the other hand, is completely weird because I think the gunplay is very good, but it's ruined by just things that would take an hour tops to playtest, and they just simply didn't do it. I will also note that I fucking cannot stand Black Ops 3. It is probably one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire life. I even went back and tried to play it yesterday to ensure it wasn't just me thinking that it was bad, but no, it was fucking the worst thing I've ever played in my entire life, to be honest. Its plot is fucking terrible, its weapon balance is a complete joke. It feels shit compared to Infinite Warfare. Like, if you play Infinite Warfare for an hour and then go back to Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare is quite clearly just a superior Black Ops 3. The fucking black market system is a complete joke and just puts 90% of the fucking DLC weapons that you actually want to use into fucking an RNG loot box system, which I've yet to get a single one in my 97 hours of playing. So, and don't give me the crap of, oh, but you can do a challenge and then you can unlock it because you can do a challenge, when the fucking challenge is get 100 wins and a game lasts about 10 minutes, and if you won 100 games in a row, that would still be a shit ton of time. So I don't class that challenge as actually fucking good because you'd have to put retarded amount of hours in just to complete it. Just a quick edit, I just did a quick calculation of how long it would take you in hours to get the challenge completed of win 100 games if you won Team Deathmatch 100 times back to back without losing a single match if it lasted the full 10 minutes. And it's 16.6 hours. So that's 16.6 hours if you won every single game back to back, which you're not going to do because you'll have to rely on your teammates for 90% of the thing, and 90% of your teammates are not going to be particularly good enough to win 100 games of Team Deathmatch back to back. And then when you actually do unlock the fucking unlock thing for the weapon, you'll probably get a melee weapon anyway. So just before I start off, I don't hate Black Ops 4. I actually think it could be really good. It is pretty good right now. Like, just shooting someone feels nice. The movement feels very similar to Infinite Warfare, but without the jetpacking. Actually, I know most people don't like the jetpacking. I personally liked the skill gap improvement, but this is a nice in-between of you can actually outmaneuver people, and it feels fluid to vault over shit finally in a boots on the ground game. So this is a massive improvement over World War II, which was extremely slow and clunky. It's just a question of whether they're actually going to implement any of these changes, which I don't expect them to fucking listen to this video, but I expect some people to actually also agree with me on these changes. Well, my first point will be the time to kill being imbalanced given the rest of the weapons. So why I say this is imbalanced is because they've increased the time to kill of every single gun across the board. So your ARs, your SMGs, etc. are going to take more bullets to kill. But the snipers still one-shot you, and they have a ridiculously low ADS time. So what this just results in is you putting in like 13 rounds into a guy, and then they'll just quick scope you. And 90% of the lobbies are already people running around with red dot sight snipers because it's just a better fucking. It's the best option to choose because you can one shot someone while someone can put 12 plus rounds into you. Then on top of that, you have things like the armor perk, which it increases your health even more, so you're basically running around shooting juggernauts. Like, I've had it where I've had to put 25 plus rounds into someone just to kill them because they had this juggernaut perk. And you might think, oh, it's balanced because once you've destroyed the armor, you don't get any more until you die. But most of the people running this perk are the people who are dying often. So if you're going on a streak, you're coming across the same person with 3 times more health than you, most gunfights, and it's so much more difficult to win a gunfight when someone's got so much more health than you. And then on top of that, they're now combining that with the sniper rifles, which means that they can one-shot you while you have to then put even more rounds into them than you would have otherwise already had with a sniper rifle that was already overpowered. So it's just feeling like World War II, because World War II's snipers had the same problem where they would one-shot you and every other gun would be super inconsistent right at the start of its release. Sniper rifles had a really low ADS time and really low scopes, where just like in this game. And everyone's just running around trying to get fucking clips with sniper rifles like it's Modern Warfare 2, for fuck's sake, and that is just not fun for me. If they actually nerfed the sniper, not so it didn't one-shot, otherwise it would be completely useless, but just increase the ADS time or something, and then massively nerf the armor perk, because the only way to go through it is to use FMJ on your gun, which is quite a high level on your weapon, like a weapon level thing, because they're doing that whole stupid weapon level to fucking get your attachments rather than going back to the original Black Ops 1 system or Ghost system, which were much better, where you could just choose what attachments you want as soon as you got the gun. Second point, this is probably the game breaking one for me, and completely destroys any kind of fun I have when it happens. It'll be the specialists. They are significantly more annoying in this game than they have been in any other Call of Duty, including Black Ops 3, which I really didn't like them in Black Ops 3. They decided to bring back the War Machine from Black Ops 3 with battery, which is a fucking 6-round grenade launcher that instantly blows up when it touches, and has a fucking explosion radius of Africa, apparently. In a game where the time to kill is already ridiculously high, having a specialist that just one-shot you is just, it feels so cheap because you have no reaction to it. You've got the gravity hammer guy, I can't remember what the fuck it's called, the thing where he slams down onto the floor. I've had so many instances where I've put like 10 rounds into a guy who is that class, and then he'll just panic hit you and then instantly kill you. You can't really do anything because the time to kill is so high, whereas he can instantly kill you, and it's quite hard to trace someone flying up in the air like that. And on top of that, it happens within like 0.2 of a second or something, so you don't even have much time to react at all. You've got, for some reason, they've brought the dog into the specialist ability. Fuck knows why they've done that. It wasn't exactly like the fucking dog from Ghosts was hard to get, and for some reason they've still made it so it's a fucking tank. The dog takes 1200 rounds to kill and instantly kills you. It's fucking basically impossible to see because its pathing is completely fucked. It can zigzags all over the place. It'll fucking run past your teammates, run around an entire courtyard, and then fucking kill you for no apparent reason whatsoever. It's hard to tell whether your teammate or an enemy is the one with the dog, because all you hear is the barking, and there is some footprint thing on the minimap, but it's so hard to see that it might as well not be there. It's not like Ghost where you could see the outline of it through walls really easily, so you quite clearly knew if it was a teammates or an enemies. Plus, this one doesn't do what the Ghost one did, because on Ghosts it would stay by your side no matter where you went. On this one, he'll just fucking run around, so you can be on the other side of the fucking map away from all your teammates, and he'll just fucking run through everything and then just come and kill you. It's fucking ridiculous. Then they brought back the Tempest, only this time it's even more fucking annoying, because in Black Ops 3, he would shoot you, and then anyone in a radius of you would instantly die, including the person who you shot. In this, he'll shoot you. It won't kill you, it'll just fucking stun you and make you crawl around on the floor, which might seem less annoying because it's like, oh, maybe your streak could continue, but now you've got to sit here waiting for 7 seconds as you crawl around waiting for your death, because as soon as you've been hit, you're basically dead because you can't move hardly. You're crawling around at the speed of a snail, and they'll just beeline it towards you and kill you. It's so fucking annoying. Then they've added the fucking shield, which has got to be the most broken riot shield I've ever experienced in my entire life, and it makes the 1.6 Counter-Strike riot shield look balanced. This guy can fucking put this shield down and shoot at you with pinpoint accuracy while you can't do any damage to him, because you don't unlock any fucking explosives until rank 29, for fuck's sake, unless you go the battery class, and even then you can't just chuck the grenades willy-nilly, you have to wait for it to charge up if you go for the battery class. But if you don't have any explosives, you just have to let him kill you, because you can't actually do any damage to him unless you get round him, and then by the time you round him, he's already chunked your health to 3/4, and he's turned and you can't kill him again. It's got to be the most ridiculous fucking specialist I've ever experienced in my entire life, and there's been one instance where he just walked through the courtyard and just killed our entire team, and we couldn't do anything about it because none of us had an angle on him, and it was impossible to get an angle on him, and that just isn't fun. Then, on top of that specialist, the fucking robot stun as well. It's got the same problem as the fucking Tempest, where there's like a little drone that looks like something out of Rainbow Six Siege, and it'll shock you, and it'll completely lock your character up. It's not even like in the old Call of Duties, where the worst part of being concussed was you'd move extremely slow and you were probably dead. But you could actually kill him if you aimed somewhat in the direction prior to being stunned, and that way you could slightly move your mouse to them. In this, if you don't hit E immediately, you're dead, because it just locks you up. I don't know why they're putting quick time events in multiplayer now, but I thought that was only the single player, probably because they haven't made a single player and they can't fucking stand not having quick time events in the game. That just needs to go, to be honest. I shouldn't need to run a perk because this fucking specialist can run around with a stupid drone that stuns me completely for fucking 7+ seconds. Then you've got the radiation crap, which temporarily decreases your max health, they said. It decreases it for about 15 seconds. You are unable to heal, which in a game with time to kill so high, you're running around with 80 HP while everyone else is at 180. You're not going to win any gunfight if the other person has 2 thumbs. It's such a shit show right now, with the specialists being completely broken or completely useless. Because then you've got the Crash, I believe he's called, the one that I play and the one you'll see me playing on a lot of the gameplay, who his ultimate will just buff everyone by 50 HP, and while Battery gets a grenade every like minute or 30 seconds or whatever, this guy gets ammo that he can throw down, which is already bad enough because this person has a fucking cluster grenade and all you can do is throw ammo down. But on top of that, the cluster grenade for some reason charges quicker than the ammo. Like, every time I've come across a battery, they've been able to throw off a grenade before I've got ammo down at the start of a match, and I don't understand why an explosive cluster grenade, which is basically a tactical nuke for a 50-meter radius, can charge quicker than throwing ammo down. It just makes zero fucking sense. If they've just taken the specialists from Black Ops 3 and thought, how could we make them even more annoying? And then they've done it, and it's just not fun to play against them, to be honest. You just need to remove it. Unless like, at least in Infinite Warfare, the specialist was somewhat balanced. You had some broken ones like Mer, who could do basically the same thing Battery could from Black Ops 3, where he puts on a reactive armor and makes you completely broken. They've got rid of that, but it doesn't really make a difference when the time to kill is already so stupidly high that when you put the perk on for armor, you basically have the same amount of health as that specialist ability from Black Ops 3 and IW. They just need to not have these specialist abilities be basically a kill streak that's better than most of the kill streaks in the game. So my final points on why the game isn't as good as it could be is they've removed the reload cancelling. I'm not quite sure why they've done that. If you don't know, if you were reloading in all the Call of Duties, if you then come across someone mid-reload, you could either double tap your change weapon button, or you can start sprinting, and it would cancel your reload and allow you to kill the guy with what a little ammo you have. In Black Ops 3, while you're running, you reload, which means you can't use the sprint method to cancel your reload. In IW, they added an option in the menu to stop that, so if you hit sprint, it would cancel your reload, but I can't seem to find it in Black Ops 3, but the menu's fucking huge on the PC range, so that might be one reason. And then the other method, which I used in IW, and every other Call of Duty ever made, is I double tapped my change weapon button. In this game, if you tap it too quickly, it doesn't register your second input. So if you hit, so my button is Q, on Xbox it's Y, and on PS4 or whatever it's triangle. If you double tap triangle or double tap Y or double tap Q, you'll switch to your secondary, but you won't then re-pull out your primary, which means you stood looking at this guy with your fist out, not able to kill him. And it just gets really annoying because it's built into your muscle memory. They removed drop shotting, which isn't really a bad thing, but I still keep randomly drop shotting because I'm used to it and then getting killed because of it. They need to either decrease the time it takes for you to be able to ADS again when you drop shot, and then do the same when you're standing up from prone, because that can also get you killed while you're standing up. You can't ADS for a while. The score streaks in the game suck. They're so bad. That AI teammate thing has got to be the most useless thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. It was crap in whatever other fucking Call of Duty had implemented it in. I think it was Go, and it's crap here. They just die so quickly. I think there's been one time where they spawn trapped the enemy, but the enemy were like all level 1s, so I'm not really counting that. The Warthog gets countered by fucking tac resistance for some reason. A fucking 30mm high explosive cannon shooting plane with rockets gets countered by a fucking perk that's designed to stop you being stunned. The gunship is good once you find the enemy, but the problem with the gunship is on Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3, when the enemies spawned in, you would see them on the thermal, but they wouldn't come up with a red thing like immediately for about 2 or 3 seconds, but they were still killable. Whereas in Black Ops 4, they don't come up on the thermal for the first few seconds, or more like 5. The red thing doesn't come up for 5 seconds, and they have spawn protection, so by the time you can actually shoot off your fucking gun at them once you've found them, they're already inside. Plus the spawns are swapping every 3 fucking seconds. That thing is also very annoying. I shouldn't need to keep running from one end of the map, turning around, running to the other, turning around, running to the other, or just have their entire team spawn on top of me when I've just spawned in. Especially with the time to kill as high as it is, it's basically impossible to kill anyone, or to kill a group of greater than 2. It can be done if the enemies are completely useless and you completely outplay them, but it's very rare for that to happen, so it can completely destroy your streak if the entire enemy team spawns on top of you. So this last point is only for those who play on PC. If you didn't know, they actually brought in a dedicated team to work on the PC part of this one, supposedly. I don't know where they got this dedicated team from, but they're fucking shite, because these are my graphic settings. Nope. There. These are my graphic settings. Okay, so there's a lot of them. It's really nice. Right, you even have a menu frame rate limiter. Never seen that in a game before. You have your custom frame rate limits. You can change basically everything. But so I'm not playing on ultra at all. I'm playing high-ish, and the frame rate, and I've got things like anti-aliasing and ambient occlusion and shit that would actually massively affect your FPS off. And the game just runs like crap. I'm sorry, this is a 1080 with 16 gigs of RAM and a 6-core i7, the 4930K, and it's struggling to maintain 120 FPS on not even high. I wouldn't consider this high at all. And the game doesn't look pretty. It looks pretty shit, to be honest. And you're gonna tell me this is the best they could do in 3 years with a dedicated PC development team? They even brought it off Steam to Battle.net so that Steam don't get any of the money for the sales, Activision get it all, and try to use the fact that the PC port would be better as an excuse, but it's shit. I'm sorry, Overwatch runs better than this crap. Overwatch doesn't look better graphically, technically, but stylistically it looks 100 times better, and I can play that game at basically max settings and maintain 220 FPS. Blizzard know how to make PC games. Fucking Treyarch doesn't have a fucking clue. Looking at Black Ops 3's terrible part, it doesn't even surprise me, because Black Ops 3 doesn't even run anymore. It stutters so much no matter what graphic settings you put it on, because of how much crap they've added to the black market, which means that this game is probably going to end up in the same path of being neglected on the PC and end up being completely unplayable like a year in, when they've added 4,000 DLC weapons into the black market. So if you're on PC and you're below a 1060, I wouldn't even bother trying to play this. Can't imagine it would even remotely be an enjoyable experience. especially if the graphics look this bad on high texture quality. It would just look disgusting on that. I'm just gonna leave off with some AC-130 gameplay if you're interested in that, so have fun.
UAV 50% time check. Reload 3 in the turn, firing for effect. Bad guy littering. Bad guy down. Best kind of overkill.
Close. Reach out and take it.
That's all she wrote. Log 1-3, bugging out.
Got him.
Hostile TAC deployed beacon online.
Good to go. Overriding medical protocols.
Be advised, hostile TAC deployed beacon active.
Enemy down.
Hostile attack deploy beacon active. Be advised, hostile attack deploy beacon active. Friendly attack deploy beacon offline.